Chapter 8. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. You can use her name, if that makes it easier. Are you sure? If she's still out there, she's not. She was on the shuttle. Oh. The loudest, most obnoxious, most persistent noise in the universe exploded in my ears, tearing me from sleep in a violent panic. My surroundings were unfamiliar, but it didn't matter. I had to get away from the noise. A barely functioning survivor's instinct kept me from hurling myself over the edge of my alcove. Instead, I scrambled down the ladder, heart racing and muscles trembling with instant adrenaline. I had to move fast to avoid smashed fingers by the girl above me and join the crush of people crowding out of the exit door, which had thankfully opened. I thought it would be better outside the room, but once again I was wrong. A growling, snarly voice, punctuated by exploding barks, shouted right in my ear as I ran out the door. "Move faster! Spread out! Backs against wall! Now! Now!" There was no time to make a choice, only to react and obey. With my back plastered to the wall, I scooted over to make room for the growing line wrapping around the perimeter, followed by a streaming cloud of gray balls. This room was not the same as it had been yesterday. Then, it had a straight line of white tiles from the passage to the door, and everything else was a quick trip to oblivion. Now, it was all solid floor, no drops. The three beast people were the same, though, and they acted the same, pushing and growling and snapping. So much for Calm Girl's optimistic dreams of a quiet Q&A session. The volley of snarls and barks changed from sounding like, "Move! Now! Now! Move!" to "Names! Names! Who told? Names!" Oh crap. Oh crap. I had indeed made an awful, terrible mistake. I stared straight ahead and didn't look for her, didn't even try to think of names, hers or mine, but I couldn't stop myself. Ashley was out there, and if either of us couldn't hold it together, we were both screwed. The wolves dropped their volume in a tiny bit, all three making the circle in the round room as they grabbed our hair, tilting our heads and glaring in our eyes, demanding, "Was it her? Did she tell name? Don't look at trainer!" and cuffing ears, slapping faces, punching stomachs. Casual cruelness. They skipped some, hit others. It seemed completely arbitrary. I stayed as absolutely still as possible, doing everything I could to keep the attention off. It didn't work. I was doomed from the start. "What is this thing?" one of them shouted, glaring down at me. "Cobalt, come look! What is this?" It snatched my entire face with a massive clawed hand, twisting my head back and forth like a doll. I tried to move with it, scared it would think I was fighting. "Looks upon Tiki Modelian," it shouted. "Is a drone, maybe. Thinks to sneak into sapient selection." "Is that truth?" The second, I assumed it was Cobalt, demanded, but the question was strictly rhetorical. The left side of my face exploded with a punch. Before I could even register what had happened, the right exploded too. "Sapient selection too tough for Rodelian drones. She wants to delete now?" A fist hit my abdomen, but I was at least sort of ready for that one. I couldn't stop from cringing, but I didn't fall. They immediately lost interest and moved on. I resumed staring straight ahead, tears of pain and surprise threatening to spill. What just happened? "Names!" they kept snarling. "Which told names? She trying to hide is pointless. Trainers already know which she's are." Oh, they didn't know. Or did they? They couldn't, because why else the big show? Sadism, maybe. Or they were baiting us. But I hadn't broken. Yet. I proved Ashley could trust me, and if she didn't break either, I could trust her. "Cobalt gave one instruction. Cobalt ordered not tell names. Cobalt told subject is deleted and returned if another knows her name. Who? Confess now!" They kept roughing people up. I could take this. I didn't know I could a moment before. I thought I would crumble if they hit me, but it looked worse than it felt. As long as they didn't hit too much, I could take it. Hold on, there seemed to be a lot more than 50 humans in the room. With an unseen signal, they were done. One of them walked out to the center and hollered, "No! She's our forcing Cobalt of calling it!" The monster waited a solid 10 seconds, letting the tension build to a boil. Then, 8:47, get here! My heart still thwacked against my ribs, but I allowed the breath I was holding to hiss through my teeth. I was number 14. She didn't know about me. 8:47, now! Two girls reluctantly stepped forward. Neither were familiar to me. Lucky for subjects, the ether predicted what we're doing in time and censored. Only one other person in selection knows name, but is one person too many, yes? The creature dug into a cargo pocket and produced two small objects, handing one to each girl. Throw dice to find which to keep. The blonde girl dropped her die more than threw it. The brunette with bleached ends awkwardly hurled it away. It bounced and clattered against the floor, and two women against the wall shifted to avoid it. 2, the other beast in the center announced. 3, the gray one growled. The main creature tapped the brunette on the shoulder. Congratulations! This subject is deleted and no longer a parasite under trainer tail. To the rest of us, she yelled, True name makes her vulnerable in the ether. Do not tell her name is all the simpleness. Do she's understand? We nodded our heads. If she's understand, the wolf creature shouted, she says yes, Cobalt. Now, do she's understand? Some murmured, yes, Cobalt. Not the reaction the beast wanted. Do she's understand? It shouted, and we responded more vocally, yes, Cobalt. She and the other one, brownish one, shook their heads. The gray was expressionless. Weak, the lead one growled. Move before trainers delete more. We left the brunette behind and moved quickly, following the lit tiles, never more than 2 in advance. About that girl. Was she out? Did she get to go back home, or... I couldn't figure it out, so I switched on to something I could. How to tell the beasts apart. Cobalt was nearest me, in the middle of the group. She, because I remembered the other girls mentioned these creatures were female, had a plain sandy-colored face. She didn't have markings until down around the shoulders and chest, where large black spots appeared. The one currently leading was also brown, but grayish-brown, with a black streak running down the spine. Her ears were a little more pointy, and I couldn't see the face, but she seemed to have black stripes higher on the neck. She was also a little shorter than Cobalt. The one behind was more obviously different. Silver-gray fur, longer than the other two, and also a wider face, and a slightly shorter snout, more like a wolf. Compared to that one, the others looked closer to foxes or coyotes. Except for the pants and the walking on 2 legs, obviously. They all seemed willing to kill us without batting an eye, though. For all her caustic attitude, Loud Girl was right. These creatures were nuts. We shouldn't be waiting around to see what happened. We should be trying to get out of here.